Well, mushy chat. I hope you're all doing well. I know we're a week into this thing, and I've just been hearing constantly that it's just a case of the sniffles. Oh, it's just a case of the sniffles, Jim. You need to calm down. Nothing's happening. I mean, sure, there are 60 million people under quarantine. It's spread to 17 countries. Mongolia, Hong Kong, North Korea. They've all shut their borders. Kazakhstan shut off transportation. Russia has closed off land entrance between itself and China. But it's not a big deal. Multitudes of airlines are refusing to do travel to or from China now. Google, Tencent, Facebook, multiple corporations with offices in China telling employees stay home, don't go to work. It's not worth it, bro. But it's not a big deal. Just a case of the sniffles. I remember the tragic cold case of 2017, the super sniffles it was called, when they locked down half the United States because somebody sneezed in Tennessee. I think we all remember how that turned out. Months and months of lockdown because people were achooing everywhere. Now, I had planned on streaming tomorrow, actually, to celebrate a special number, but because these statistics are jumping all over the place, kind of backed myself into a corner. I wasn't going to do it until tomorrow, but I was like, well, if it goes above a certain threshold tonight, we'll do a little bit of a catch-up stream. We'll talk about what's going on with the Wu flu, why it is the head of the World Health Organization wants to go on a gay date with the president of China. Have you seen this, by the way? I've never seen a man lust after another man so much in my life. If the head of WHO could have been born a Chinese woman, he would be bearing the progeny of the president of China. Oh, he loves that guy. Watching his press conferences for the last 2 days now about how much he loves China, how well China's doing, how great the things China's achieving are, how they've got everything under control, bro. Nothing to worry about, just a case of the sniffles. But we did fuck up. We were supposed to put up a warning that told people, hey, high risk. High worldwide risk, but we put it at moderate because we're such bros. Now, the CDC came out today telling everybody, hey, wait a minute, don't worry about it. No new cases in the United States today. Everybody, let's celebrate. But a little addendum to that teleconference they had with the press that they were giving out earlier today, about 3 or 4 hours back. They kind of forgot to mention, or maybe it slipped their mind, that yesterday it was 110 potential cases. Today it's only 96 potential cases. So when they act like we're all in the clear, what they really mean is they tested 18 people. They've got 96 other fucking people to go. 96 other people spread across 26 different states. So maybe the CDC needs to back up a little bit on that optimism. Just a tad. Oh, you know what? I need to change this. We need to update to the new background. Oh, there we go. I'm not saying me magic, but come on. I know Shanghai. Oh my God. That's in Shanghai. It's not Wuhan. It's the goddamn umbrella corporation. Corona raccoon. Come on. All the signs are there. I think we can all see what's going on right now. Couldn't write a script this good. It's like a survival movie. What the fuck is going on? So let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the new numbers. Where are we now? Survey says, oh, we're fucked. Right now we've got 7,811 confirmed cases worldwide, with 12,167 suspected cases. Vanna, turn those little letters around. What does that say? 170 fatalities, 1,370 in serious or critical condition, 124 treated, 17 countries reporting cases, and every single fucking region of China is now infected with the Wu flu. Now, these numbers are interesting for a host of reasons. Yesterday it was 6,000 infected, so it's gone up about 1,700 today. Went up 1,400 yesterday in the epicenter. Yesterday was 824 new cases. Today, over 1,000 new cases. It's picking up momentum. Fatality count is rising. And again, let's see, between treated and released, compared to fatalities, that KD ratio is not looking so great. 170 killed, 124 living. I don't know what's going to happen to those other 7,800 people that are dealing with it right now. Not looking good. Suspected cases up 4,000 from yesterday. Isn't it strange? For the sniffles, that is. I mean, remember, Eugene's taught us all, this is nothing more than the sniffles. The flu is much more dangerous. Isn't it strange how they're in such a desperate move right now to try to create multiple hospitals with thousands and thousands of beds on top of their pre-existing medical infrastructure in a city of 11 million like Wuhan? How many fucking hospital beds do you think there are? And I mean, they were jumping on this right away when there were just a few hundred cases. It's almost like the Chinese government knew something terrible was coming down the pipeline. Maybe they sat back and thought, oh, wait a minute, that growth curve, that 1,200% uptick in a fucking week. Let's compare Corona Chan to Little Miss SARS. Now, SARS took, 6 to 8 months to infect 8,000 plus people? But our little Corona Chans accomplished that in a week. In fact, by tomorrow, more than likely. Throwing out a speculative number, just based on the fact that we're always above about 1,300 a day. 9,300 people tomorrow. 10,000 if it keeps its growth curve. So we've gone past SARS in infections. Even if this thing plateaus tomorrow, we've kicked SARS ass. MERS, I don't even see you in the rearview mirror. You're eating dust in the background. I know a lot of people are looking at that fatality ratio. They're saying, what's going on? We need a little more suffering here to make it compelling. It's like everybody's sitting back and waiting. Well, there are some factors to take into consideration here. And in fact, I think the story of the 10-year-old. Now, this was a Bloomberg article talking about it, about a family that had been infected, 5 of them. They insisted their child be tested. Now, why is this so interesting? Because it was published in the Lancet, and the child didn't present with any symptoms. Completely fine, healthy, no fever, nothing. They tested, they did a chest x-ray. What do you know? Walking pneumonia. I would find it strange because this disease seems to kill anybody above the age of 35. It doesn't really target anybody under that age, at least for killing. Even when you look at the case of, it was either France or Germany, where you had a Chinese woman come in, infected one of the workers, then 3 other workers get infected. I mean, there's a delay. There's a lag here. But what I can tell you is these numbers are starting to catch up. The more deaths we're going to see, and it's going to start a bunch of infected people that don't show any symptoms. They're asymptomatic and yet spread the disease. They don't even know they're sick. Little preteens running around the countryside getting grandpa and grandma so sick they end up dying. What is that going to look like as things continue onward here? Oh, we've got so much to go through. I kind of put this together a little bit fast, so some of the screen caps and stuff that I've got queued up, I don't even remember what they are. What is this? Let's find out what this is. Oh, have you built your protection fort yet? There we go. No girls allowed. This is what the future of Zoomers is going to look like. It's going to be no boomers allowed. By the year 2021, only 8-year-olds are going to be left. 8-year-olds in hazmat suits, trying to figure out how to get Fortnite to work on a phone. The battery's dead. The power's out. There's no clean water. There's no food. They're all just sobbing uncontrollably because they don't know what to do because mommy and daddy and grandpa and grandma are all dead. They're behind their little fort. Oh. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, but there's some shocking amount of racism out there. Terrible things. I've been hearing a lot of complaints about bat soup. People saying, hey, that's not fucking funny, Jim. Okay? Stop making bat soup jokes. Now, I'm not the one coming up with this dumb shit. This is the stuff that China's trying to sell you. All right, let me remind you, the Communist Party in China is trying to convince you somebody was so curious what a bat's asshole tasted like that they started a fucking pandemic. That's not the theory Jim goes with. I don't think it was rim-jobbing bats that started this. I'll tell you what my theory is once we get a little further along, but this still is floating out there. But just terrible, oppressive racism. Maybe you saw this. There's a video of a Chinese Instagram thought. I don't know who the fuck she is. I love the title of the article. It's such a cuntish thing to write. Why haven't you died? Why aren't you fucking dead yet? Chinese bat soup influencer whose gruesome dinner shocked the world in wake of coronavirus breaks her silence. In an apology she made on China's microblogging site Weibo, she wrote, "Sorry everyone, I shouldn't eat bats." Well, that should be just the fucking starting assumption, right? Like, did you really need to consider that? You need to think on that a little bit. Should I eat this bat's asshole or not? Let me think about it. It might be delicious. I'll never know if I don't give it a shot. I gotta dig in. Let me crack them open like a chicken. Give it a little lickaroo. See what it tastes like. I shouldn't eat bats. Could you imagine that's your fucking reputation? You'll forever be known throughout the world as a chick that had to actually say, you know what, on second thought, I shouldn't eat bats. But this anti-Asian racism is just fucking off the charts. It's not just bat soup at these innocent Chinese people. It's also happening in Canada right now. Quite the educational PSA. Ontario School Board warns that coronavirus concerns veer into anti-Chinese racism. If you don't let these little fuckers sneeze on you, you're a bigot. You'd better let little Chang cough on you, or I'm going to call the racism police. In fact, I've seen 4 articles basically going over this. Now, let's just back up a second and remember, what are the ones that closed their fucking borders again? Oh yeah, Hong Kong, that's not white people. North Korea, that's not white people. Mongolia, that's not white people either. Seems like Asians are paranoid of Asians right now. Telling me I shouldn't wear a mask and trying not to get sneezed on is somehow equivalent to being racist is insanity. Don't let yourself get affected for fucking virtue signaling points. What kind of clown world shit is this? Oh no, you've gotta let them just sneeze. Oh, let them sneeze all over. Purge the racism from your body with a fever of 105. No, I think I'll be called a bigot in my P100 mask, in my fucking MERV suit. Fuck these kids. I'm gonna be in lockdown quarantine myself. Alright, they're not coming near me. It's always a Canadian. It's always gotta pull that shit. But remember, it's just the flu, bro. Alright, you see all these pictures? Those are the sniffles. When you fall over because you can't breathe anymore. Sniffle alert. Personally, every time I've gotten a mild cold, I've taken a header to the floor face first. Everybody I know has gone through this scenario once or twice in their life. You sneeze a little too hard, and the next thing you know, you're vomiting up blood and convulsing with a verbal seizure on the floor because your temperature's like 120 and your brain is melting. Remember, all those old people, they're dying. They're dying because they're fucking old and they're weak. So if you want to protect your community, start arming preteens. This is the point we've reached in China. One of the interesting things out of this, and we'll get to the propaganda and some of the narratives that are getting pushed forward right now, but a lot of these images that are circulating on social media coming out of China, a lot of communities aren't putting up with this shit. They're barricading themselves off. They're putting up bricks and boulders and blocking off roads. People are going out on patrols. There are unofficial checkpoints now that are even more severe than the official ones because they're not using a thermometer. It's an 8-year-old pointing a rifle at your head. Now, I'm not sure what the sign says. Maybe it's talk shit, get hit. Who knows? That kid's been standing guard so long, he's fallen asleep standing up. That's what I call discipline. And of course, if you make it past him, further on down the road is Grandpa. So, little Chang, armed with his rifle, in case you somehow bamboozle him and sneak by. Grandpa's down the street, ready to challenge you to martial arts. I love this. Sitting on a fucking throne in the middle of the road. Come and get it. My woo-fu is better than your kung fu. Prepare yourself. But it's not even that. It's not even that they're just blocking off their roads and their communities. They're locking you up. If they think you're from Wuhan, if you've traveled to Wuhan and you've come back to a community, or if you've had contact or a relative that lives in one of the infected zones, I guess you could say, this is what's going to happen to your fucking apartment. They're going to come by and they're going to put fucking notices all over the walls and the door that says, infected, don't talk to, don't come by. Those are chains and padlocks. They lock this motherfucker in and then tape the door with warnings not to have any interaction with them. And if you think the chains aren't effective enough, just grab some fucking steel bars and weld them in place. We're not letting anybody get out of here. And maybe you're thinking, well, fuck it. 1 or 2 apartments is infected. The whole building needs to be condemned. All right, we'll do that. Let's just start boarding up entrances to the whole fucking building. So as you're driving through the countryside of China, past Wuhan, to one of the outlying communities, you're going to be greeted by 8-year-olds with assault rifles, Grandpa Chang with a fucking spear, and then you're going to see boarded up houses. This is like some kind of post-apocalyptic game. With the most, maybe this is like the most elaborate ad that's ever been created for PS5 and Xbox Series X or whatever the fuck they're calling it. The graphics are so lifelike, you wouldn't even think that it's not real. But you need that protection. You need that protection for a reason, because these motherfuckers are doing horrible shit. Coronavirus infected are trying to spread disease by deliberately spitting at healthcare workers in Wuhan. Why? Why would you do that? You know, I'm trying to imagine being a doctor or nurse scared shitless because I've seen enough videos of these people getting on a bus to go into the infected city. Their fucking family members are crying. Everybody's all fucked up about it because they don't think they're going to come back alive. And then you get to a hospital and some piece of shit spits on you for no reason other than he wants to just be a cunt about it. Spitting on people. And I know some of you're going to hear people say when they read an article like that, it's the Daily Mail, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, or this is a fake story, fake news, fake news. But there are videos of this happening, like this.
这个穿黑色衣服的男的，武汉人，高烧39度4天，然后在我们医院看发热门诊那一刻，开药没有药。 下来退卡发脾气，你看摘下口罩咳嗽呢，故意对着里面咳嗽。哇
Just walks in there, starts hacking up along on motherfuckers. No reason to do it, other than he's the world's biggest fucking cunt. What the hell, man? Now, I have heard speculation, no, that's not a hospital, it's a bank. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I do know what that guy's doing. He's intentionally taking his mask off and coughing on people. If he's going to do that, start coughing on nurses or tellers or whoever the fuck they are, I don't find it so far-fetched to believe that there are patients spitting on fucking doctors. What kind of backwoods shit is that? What the fuck? Oh, I'd be so pissed off if I was a doctor and I went through that shit. It's just going to spread the disease more. Of course, that's not going to be not be much of a problem, I guess, if they crank up a few more of the crematoriums. A man from Wuhan talking about how serious the situation is. One crematorium cremated over 20 bodies per day. The government is still covering it up. People don't know much about the real situation, etc. The reason he chose to share it in audio form instead of text is because text is detected and removed. So apparently this is some insight from somebody inside Wuhan that's saying there are crematoriums working overtime, burning bodies. Now, I bet you anything if that is true, and again, I can't corroborate that. I can't tell you if it's true or not. But if it were true, then what do you know? Those official tallies probably are bullshit. There have been a lot of stories that have leaked saying people have bodies they need to be picked up, but the families are being shamed into dealing with themselves. Crematoriums are working overtime. It's a bad situation. And I think this kind of brings me to one of my main points watching from the past week. And I think you've probably noticed it too if you've been paying attention to this. There was a lot of news coming out of China for about the first 3 or 4 days. Even through their censored internet, there was a lot of shit coming out, even through their social media platforms and other things. It is getting much, much quieter. Now, there are a few videos that pop up here and there that people are getting out there, and there are a few posts that pop up here and there. But for the most part, they're clamping down on that shit. Instead, what's being presented to you, propaganda they're going with. One is the unity angle. Have you noticed an uptick in the amount of videos? And I've seen this from almost every news outlet where it's people in their buildings shouting, Wuhan, Jiayo, carry on Wuhan, or whatever the fuck it is. But it's like the same 2 or 3 videos over and over again, getting posted day after day after day. Then you've got Yi, I'm just going to call him Winnie the Pooh. You got Winnie the Pooh going around talking about how they're going to do all these great things together. They're going to build these hospitals. They're going to be on the front line. Unity, 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 unity. There's no discontent going on anywhere. And yet in the background, you've got pictures of people blocking off their communities, armed with weapons, being hostile to anybody they think might be infected, kicking them out of taxis, pulling guns on them, beating them up. I mean, there are videos of people getting attacked in the streets just because it's speculated that they're related to somebody or they're coming from Wuhan. But this unity angle, this thing is getting pushed really fucking hard. Another one, this kind of multifaceted approach that's going on right now, is it's just the flu. The Eugene thing is really taken off. If you look up coronavirus and then flu and look at the last 24 hours of news articles, I guarantee you're going to find at least 10 to 20 hits. Almost every article saying the same thing. Boy, the coronavirus sure is scary, but do you know what's scarier? The flu. Now, I'm not sure why that approach is being taken, but it is. So you've got China clamping down on people putting out information. This isn't even speculation. The initial reports about the disease that came out right at the beginning were ones that circulated on social media from doctors. And they got shut down. They got arrested for even talking about it publicly. I mean, we know this is how China operates, the social credit system. We know this is how they operate when they go after people that say anything bad on social media about the country. It's just, if we're going to argue over that, I don't know what to tell you. It should just be an accepted fact. That's how they operate. Well, let's talk about this. Now, I don't think this is fucking unreasonable at all. Coronavirus outbreak, passengers refused to board a flight with Wuhan travelers in 5-hour standoff. Again, this is an article that came out yesterday. So it's clamping down more and more as time goes on. But even yesterday, they fucking refused to get onto this goddamn plane with these people because they don't want to die. There's a rush right now on masks like N95 and just anything people can get. People are hoarding them. So communities all over China are going through this. Nobody wants to fucking deal with it. It's slightly retarded to try to present the unity angle when you can see people pulling guns on each other, beating each other up in the street, fighting with police. But everything's getting shut down. We've gone into shut it down mode. Hollywood especially is about to get fucked straight up its ass. China shut down most of its movie theaters in response to the Wuhan coronavirus. It could have a massive repercussion on the film industry. Oh, terrible. Oh, the poor film industry. Oh, whatever. What are they going to do? How about you get fucked? How about you get fucked right up your ass? Oh, it's serious now because Hollywood's involved. They're going to be very upset about this. They need those dollary dues. And with all most of its movie theaters across the country shutting down, which makes sense. If it's in every single fucking region of the country, of course they're going to do that. Of course they're going to shut it down. Fuck Hollywood, chat. You are correct. Fuck Hollywood. But let's get to the really interesting stuff. Events that have happened. Remember this. Now, there were actually, now I'm hearing there's even more. But so we had a biological laboratory located at the university, which was 9 miles away from the Henan Seafood Market. We had the Institute of Virology, which is 20 miles away from it. And if you remember in the previous streams, I talked about the Canadian couple that were smuggling stuff out. This happened in the middle of last year, but it gets better. It gets more insane, actually, if you think about it, because this is what I think happened. I don't buy the whole bat soup shit. I really think they were working on a bioweapon with stolen materials, and it somehow got loose. Because it wasn't just Canada. No, we had this pop up. Harvard and Wuhan, 21 smuggled vials of stolen unidentified biomaterial and 2 fraudulent J-1 visa holders, including a top Chinese Communist Party Army lieutenant. Public reaction? Crickets. We'll just read through some of it. We'll read through how China was involved in smuggling out biological materials with the help of bribed officials at Harvard University. Of course, why wouldn't it be Harvard? Why wouldn't Harvard be involved? U.S. Attorney's Office announced today that the chair of Harvard University's Chemistry and Chemical Biology Department and 2 Chinese nationals have been charged in connection with aiding the People's Republic of China. Charles Lieber, 60, chair of the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Harvard University, was arrested this morning and charged by criminal complaint with 1 count of making a materially false, fictitious, and fraudulent statement. Uh-oh. Yang Qing Yi, 29, a Chinese national, was charged in an indictment today with 1 count each of visa fraud, making false statements, acting as an agent of a foreign government, and conspiracy. By the way, this was yesterday this came out. And also, Zhaosong Zhang, 30, a Chinese national, was arrested on December 10th of 2019 at Boston's Logan International Airport and charged with criminal complaint and attempting to smuggle 21 vials of biological research material to China. On January 21st, 2020, Zhang was indicted on 1 count of smuggling the goods from the United States and making false and fictitious and fraudulent statements. And this is where it gets good. According to court documents, since 2008, Dr. Lieber has served as a principal investigator of the Lieber Research Group at Harvard University, which specializes in the area of nanoscience, and received more than $15 million in grant funding from the National Institute of Health and the Department of Defense. These grants require the disclosure of significant foreign financial conflicts of interest or support from foreign groups. Yet in the beginning of 2011, Lieber became a strategic scientist at Wuhan University of Technology. Or what? So when you ask what the fuck is happening, well, apparently Dr. Lieber from Harvard, in connection with 2 Chinese nationals smuggling out biological materials in Wuhan, was getting paid by the Chinese government to help facilitate this. So I'm putting my thinking thoughts hat on right now. Chinese agents involved in stealing coronavirus materials from a Canadian lab, or trying to smuggle out data related to coronaviruses from Canada in the middle of last year. And with the help of Dr. Lieber, 2 nationals related again to Wuhan, smuggling out biological materials. It's almost like the Chinese are sending out people to every fucking country they can to take viral data and viral materials and just throwing the shit in a blender and seeing what happens. And somehow this shit got loose. This guy was getting paid millions of fucking dollars. Didn't disclose it. Worked with the United States government, getting grants of upwards of $15 million. Still took a bribe from these assholes for $1.5 million. A tenth the value. What in the fuck is going on with this world? Are we living in crazy town or what? Can somebody explain to me how this keeps happening? How it keeps centering around Wuhan? Why does it keep coming back to Wuhan? Why are all these Chinese nationalists related to the universities in Wuhan? This is the 3rd one now. The 3rd fucking institute. Why are they all related to universities and technology institutes, virology labs in Wuhan? Taking biological materials from foreign countries, infiltrating biological laboratories, taking data, doing all this shit, and now all of a sudden we have this disease that pops up in China. We have this big fucking disease that pops up in China. What was the date that he was smuggling shit out? End of December? Okay. And now we've got a mystery disease. All these groups, all related to Wuhan, all centered and located in Wuhan. And now all of a sudden this fucking disease pops up and China is shitting itself in fear. And you can't tell me they're not shitting themselves in fear. Because let's be realistic here. You don't quarantine 60 million fucking people and shut down 15 cities unless you're scared shitless you have fucked up on a massive scale. And when you look at the countries around them, they're starting to kind of pick up on it too. Don't really focus too much on who in the CDC right now. Let's look at the people that are directly around them. Let's look at Mongolia. Mongolia building a wall to keep the Chinese out. Let's look at Russia cutting off all transport. Hong Kong wanting to seal its borders. The moment a Chinaman sneezed, Kim Jong-un shut fucking everything down. None of these motherfuckers are coming into his country. Kazakhstan shutting shit right the fuck down. Getting real nervous about what's going on. Almost like they can read it. So when you start to see this slow uptick of shit that's happening with the infection amount and with the death toll, I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, I could be wrong. Sure, it could peter out. It could plateau tomorrow and everything's fine. But I will not change my stance that I think this is a viral weapon. Research into a biological weapon, and they lost control of it. Somebody fucked up. Maybe somebody was transporting something. Maybe they're fucking around and they didn't clean themselves up properly. I don't fucking know. But it got loose and they got scared. And they don't want to tell anybody. That's why they're building fucking 3 hospitals at the speed of light. They're running around as fast as they can to build 3 hospitals. Their hospitals are overstaffed. They're sending medical people from all over the fucking country in. You notice the difference? The World Health Organization will suck their dick and they'll let the World Health Organization maybe come in and help a little bit. The CDC, on the other hand, even after Trump offered help, they're like, no, fuck no, stay away. I wonder why. Maybe because you stole our shit, you fucking assholes. Maybe if the CDC gets boots on the ground and sees what the fuck is really going on, they're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, that looks like some of the shit we had. I could almost swear that's something we had in one of our laboratories. How did it end up in in China? Why is it in Wuhan? I mean, it has to be pretty bad. It has to be pretty fucking bad when you're willing to convince the world that you eat badass. All right? You fucked up on a scale so large that you're willing to go with the story that the reason the pandemic is happening is you love the taste of bat asshole. You can't let the truth get out, so you're willing to take that hit and let the whole world think that you're rim jobbing these fucking flying rodents. Just absolutely brilliant. Holy shit, folks. Let's take a look and see how bad it is right now, where it is right now. So in Hubei, 4,500 cases. I don't know what 1S62. It's a new number, apparently. Terrible things are happening. So in China, 7,711 cases and 170 deaths. We have no deaths outside of China just yet, but we do have 2 serious cases up in France. But Thailand 14, Singapore 10, France 5, Malaysia 7, Japan 11. There was a story about a bus driver that had a whole fucking bus full of Chinese tourists from Wuhan. Ended up getting sick, poor son of a bitch. 4 in South Korea, 5 in the United States, 2 in Vietnam, 1 in Nepal. Australia's got 7, Canada's got 3, Cambodia's got 1, Sri Lanka sitting at 1, Germany has got 4, United Arab Emirates has 4, and finally Finland has 1. And we've got our little map here. Let's take a look at our little map and just let's see where everything's sitting here. You know, now Kazakhstan shut shit down pretty quickly, and I think it's obvious why. It's like a little train of death that's moving on into Kazakhstan. No wonder they shut off everything along this line. Just shut it the fuck down. Same with Mongolia. It looks like the Chinese are trying to invade. I feel like I'm playing Kessen from fucking PlayStation 2 era. It's a pincer attack. They're trying to hit them from the north and from the south. It's like little armies of infection are headed towards Mongolia, and a breakaway army is heading towards Kazakhstan. Now, with all of this shit over here, I wouldn't doubt that it's going to be in Laos pretty soon. Bangladesh, Bhutan, it's just a matter of fucking time. The Philippines, matter of time. Indonesia, all these guys are getting fucked. There's no way it's not going to end up there. Here's Australia. I believe this is the only part of Australia that didn't burn down to a crisp. There's nothing living in this area anymore because of the fire tornadoes. And the poor survivors from all the fire tornadoes in Australia, they're now infected with the Wu flu. God really hates Australia for some reason. I don't know what you Aussies did to piss him off, but you did something. Oh, and here we go. Our French cases and our German cases, it's going to spread over there. And then good old USA and Canada, Toronto and British Columbia, Washington, a couple in California. So really the only safe places at the moment without confirmed cases, South America and Africa. Those are the 2 places. If you want to survive the Wu flu, you'd better love Brazil because that's the last place you've got left to go. There's nowhere else to turn to. Yeah, I'm sorry, Australia. I don't know exactly why God hates you so much, but whew. After the fire stuff, you thought maybe Mother Nature and God would just give you a minor break, right? Like, just back off a little bit, shit. But no, we're going to send a bunch of Chinese tourists to get you all sick. And I believe there's speculation, and this is one of the problems too. This is why at least I try to wait for like Bieno's numbers and a few other places' numbers. Because there's so many potential cases and suspected cases that you're never 100% sure. Like earlier, there were 3 different locations in Africa that were suspected might have it, but until there's a positive result that comes back, you can't be 100% sure. I know in the United Kingdom, they wheeled out some motherfuckers and it wasn't looking good. Apparently, from what I understand in the UK situation, the guy told the doctor, his general practitioner, that he had contact or he had been to Wuhan. He had a fever, he felt sick. The doctor sent him home. His temperature got worse, and then they sent in the hazmat people. Same thing in Russia. I'm not sure if it was a tourist or if it was somebody that was coming back from there, carted off in it looks like an oxygen tent with people in hazmat suits, MERV suits, whatever they're wearing. So I don't know. I don't know what the end result of this is going to look at. I mean, you can see the direction it's headed. Now, where does that plateau? Where does it finally stop? I mean, you're still seeing this growth. And this is another thing to take into consideration. You're still seeing this growth curve occur under quarantine. All right. With the Chinese government locking shit down, putting in curfews, shutting down businesses, shutting down transportation, trains and subways and everything. This curve is still shooting straight up. I mean, the mayor of Wuhan, who they used as a sacrificial lamb, who is probably dead now because he actually had the balls to say something about the central authority. But the mayor of Wuhan said before the lockdown went into place, 5 million people were out and about. So if it takes 1 to 2 weeks for symptoms to show up, if they even do show up, you may be asymptomatic, this shit's going to spread like wildfire. It seems to be fairly infectious. Now, it has yet to be seen how deadly it's going to be, but we've surpassed SARS. I guarantee you. So it's funny to me to watch all the Eugenes out there talk about how the flu's, the sniffles. What do you think the number has to be for them to suddenly stop saying the flu is worse? What do you think the numbers have to be when people start to say, oh shit, maybe this is a problem? 25,000 infected, 100,000 infected, 500,000, a couple million? How many dead? 50,000 dead, 100,000 dead? At what point would it have to reach for people to really, really hit the freak the fuck out moment in this event, in this happening? But there were other stories about grocery stores running out of stuff. And then the Chinese government put out a propaganda video saying, no, the grocery stores are fine. Look, here we sent somebody and look, it's wonderfully stocked. And then yet you see people on college campuses, you know, India's reporting this, and there are a couple American articles talking about college kids that are over there right now saying they're completely out of fucking everything. They have nothing. They can't leave the fucking campus. They're locked down. You know, people are stuck in their buildings. You've got these videos of them screaming, go, Wuhan, go, from their fucking windows and balconies. 3 Japanese evacuated from Wuhan have tested positive. Well, lovely. Coronavirus prompts Texas University to clamp down. Tourism officials react to the possible case of coronavirus in Las Vegas. Jackson County. Yeah, see, it's story after story of just different little communities starting to kind of come around to the fact that, maybe this is not the best thing right now. And I love the fact that, you know, a lot of people try to downplay it. But imagine the economic toll this is having just right now. It's been a week. Just a week, a single week of a lockdown of this many people, of this many areas. And the transport that's being shut down between China and all these other nations. When it comes to goods and services, imagine the economic toll, not just on China, but on other countries. I really find it hard to believe that China's going to take that much of a hit financially, and is going to go through these kind of measures for no reason. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that they would take on that kind of loss if they weren't absolutely scared fucking shitless right now about what's going on in their country. No more evacuation, somebody's saying. Oh God, I'm glad you brought that up. Did I put this in yet? Shit, please tell me I have this in. You can't read the very top, but the very top of it is the article title. Coronavirus British mom told to leave young son behind in Wuhan. A British woman due to be flown out of Wuhan amid the coronavirus outbreak was told to leave behind her 3-year-old son because he had a Chinese passport. What the fuck is that? Okay. All right, listen here. Listen here, little Miss British lady. We're going to let you leave the country, but we're keeping your baby. Your baby. We're keeping your baby. You can leave, but the toddler stays. What? Why? What the fuck is that? You know, all these countries wanting to evacuate people. Britain wanted to pull people out, and initially they were told to fuck off. And now here she's told, well, let you leave, but we're keeping your baby. Of course it's a son. What do you think if it was a 3-year-old daughter, they would have let her take her? But it's a son, so he has to stay. You're not allowed to take him with you. The baby stays. What the fuck? But we can watch a few more clips of the what's going on in the heart of Wuhan. We had the spit video, but it's actually a compilation video with other footage. It shows a dude driving a taxi that just straight kicks a motherfucker out. He's like, where are you from? He's like, and the guy lies to him. Oh, they lie so much because they know they're being hunted. Like there've been social media posts talking like, if you're from Wuhan, don't tell anybody. But they recognize them from the accent. I mean, being a Westerner, I can't pick up on that. But I'm sure if you're from China, you can tell regional dialects and you can pick up on it easily. But the taxi driver's not having any of that shit. Yeah, let's watch a little. Oh yeah, and this, here's some there we go. That's better. Yeah, a lot of these videos coming out too. Now, and again, I don't know what to tell you, but Wuhan return, please don't touch. Look at that shit. Look at that. It's just fucking poles bolted to the doors and shit. Don't touch. Filthy Wuhans are inside. A lot of these police videos too, though. Yeah, there are a bunch of them. Here's the taxi driver. Oh, guy gets into his cab. Hey, where's the nearest hospital? Starts coughing. That dude is on that shit quick. Where the fuck are you from? You don't sound like you're from there, motherfucker. We're about to have a problem here, I'm pretty sure. You'd think, these videos, I want to try to do like a super compilation. Somebody should put together a super compilation. Because there are a ton of them on social media. And just scattered about on different things. Have you been to Wuhan? This guy does not want to let on that he has, in fact, been. I just got back. I got back from there, and now I'm going to the hospital. You need to get the fuck out. Get out, fatty. Get the fuck out of my taxi cab. I think we've done our update stream. People wanted an update stream. There you go. We'll hold a minor little crossing the finish line stream, I think, tomorrow for when it's officially bigger than SARS. As in more infections worldwide. I think SARS was like, what, 8,100? And this definitely is going to surpass that by tomorrow. By tomorrow, earlier than now. Probably by tomorrow, like in the next 20 hours when the numbers get updated. Again, I'm not 100% sure where they're going to be, but I'm going to guess above 9,000 at the very least. And make sure to get your little pillow fort together. Okay, you need to be prepared for what's coming. You need to be prepared for all the crazy shit that's coming your way.